Hi, my name is Philip Bergguist. I'm an elementary peer consultant with the Wichita School District. Today we're going to be reviewing a makeup session on mentoring language. This will be new learning and practice with the things that we've already learned. First off, you will need a mentoring handbook and the mentoring tools flipbook. To start, we're going to look at attending fully. When we attend fully, we are making the shift fully from speaker to listener. And with this, there are three alignment categories: physical, vocal, and breathing. When we are looking at these categories, we want to make sure that we are almost mirroring our mentee when they come to us. We need to see how their physical approach is to our meeting, how they're breathing, and what their vocal intonation is, and meet them where they are. Eye listening is a big part of attending fully as well. The first one that we're going to look at is personal referencing. Personal referencing is that inner dialogue that we have where we think about me too, or I would never do this as they're talking. What this does is creates an inner dialogue with us instead of listening and attending fully with them. Another thing to be aware of is personal curiosity. This is when we are interested, but really only for ourselves and really making connections with our own personal stories as well. The last thing we want to do when we're thinking about eye listening is that personal certainty. This is when we are thinking of the thing that they're supposed to be doing, or we have that, aha, I know what they should do in this situation, already formulated before they are done coming up with the issue. That's the block that occurs when we know the answer. Another part of attending fully is that attentive silence or pausing in the conversation. And this is literally pausing and being silent after your mentee makes a statement or asks a question. What this does is this tells your mentee that you're listening when you pause. This also gives a window of opportunity for them to speak up if they need anything else to say. A key point in a mentor-mentee conversation is paraphrasing. In paraphrasing, the mentor verbally paraphrases what their mentee has just said. So what does this do? The mentor is really checking for understanding on the mentee's part, making sure the mentor is understanding what their mentee is actually saying and feeling. This is one of the more crucial points in a coaching conversation. Now, in our new learning with paraphrasing, we're going to look at some more types of paraphrasing: acknowledging and clarifying, and summarizing and organizing. In acknowledging and clarifying, we are providing an opportunity to identify and calibrate the content and emotions of what they are saying. So an example of this would be, you are feeling overwhelmed, which is the emotion, by all the work, which is the content, you have to do at this time of year. Summarizing and organizing and paraphrasing captures the key elements and offers some organization to which the speaker can react. So in this situation, if your mentee is coming with a long list of things that are issues or things that they want to address, summarizing and organizing can really give a focus to what our next steps can be in your paraphrase. So an example of this would be, so there seems to be two key issues here: your continued issues with Andrew's behavior and how you move forward with a possible behavior plan. Now, let's look at a don't and a do in paraphrasing to keep in mind. First, the don't. Use I in paraphrasing. So a paraphrase like, what I hear you saying is, using I in paraphrasing can foster divisiveness and a perceived two-party approach instead of a united approach with your mentee. When a paraphrase is incorrect, I can feel combative, like your word against theirs. So instead of using I, use an example of saying your. So instead of saying, so what I hear you're saying, just go right to your. So what you're saying is, taking that I out of paraphrasing gives more opportunity for the mentee to agree or disagree with the paraphrase. It also invites them to be collaborative in the problem-solving process. So bridging from paraphrasing to questioning. We've understood where our mentee is coming from. Now it's time to look at next steps, and this is where questioning comes into play. The first thing that we want to look at when looking at questioning are using plural forms. An example of this: what strategy might work when addressing versus what strategies might work when addressing. When we use these plural forms, it broadens your mentee's options and reduces the pressure to immediately have the one answer that you may be looking for or they perceive you looking for. So using those plural forms gives the mentee more opportunity to think of different options that may be in their tool belt. Another thing to think about in questioning are using positive presuppositions. This lets the mentee know by words, tone, and questions that we believe in his or her capacity and willingness to positively engage the situation. So a possibility in your positive presupposition in questioning would be, in planning for your lessons, what hands-on materials have you found effective for your group of students? Another one would be, as you reflect on the IEP meeting, what hunches do you have about the impact of the students' artifacts? We want to thank you, and this concludes the mentoring language portion of the Makeup Mentor Training number 3.